I'm Alice Hadi, and I'm so blessed to be with you today. Today, I'm going to share kind of those aha moment where like, you think you know it in your head and you have figured it out, but you haven't quite figured it out yet. And then suddenly you had that light bulb moment where you're like, oh my God, it finally landed. Yes, it's one of those moments that I'm going to share with you today. And some of you might know what I'm talking about and have that experience like that before, but some of you might not have an idea of what I'm talking about. Either way, keep on watching because it's going to be a really good one today. I'm going to talk about divine mission, something that is so close to my heart and my clients, and it's like, oh, like you're going to love this. Before I dive into that, there's one thing I really want to highlight, and that is I'm feeling a lot of the energy of the unicorn. Kind of especially tied with the year of the horse coming. Because just yesterday, my mom was really funny. We were buying grocery, and then she suddenly took a red packet and she was like laughing so hard, and she was like, why does this horse has a horn on it, right? And I'm like, that's a unicorn, mama. But then it's just so funny how like the unicorn represent itself and make sure I get it and I see the signs. Because after that, then I was like playing around with filter and saw a unicorn filter, and then like I was talking with a friend, and then the unicorn just keep coming in. So together, let's invite the energy and the presence of unicorn, representing that playfulness, childlike wonderness, and that lightheartedness. Because a lot of times when we think about mission, it feels almost like, oh, heavy, like sometimes it's just like, oh my God, it's too much for me. Like, I can't do it by myself. I mean, I don't know if I'm good enough to do my mission. It's too big. It's like, who am I to change the world? Things like that. And then there are a lot of feeling of seriousness that's associated with mission. Like, oh, mission is something serious, something big. We have to like be prim and proper and get ourselves ready for it. But the thing is, like, we can be lighthearted and have fun. That's what I truly believe that, and this is something I always put in my bio, I believe that the spiritual awakening journey can be playful and powerful. And I truly believe that, and I keep on coming back to that truth every single time. Of course, there are times that I forgot, and that's when the unicorn come in and remind me. So let's invite in the energy of unicorn, not just in this life, but like in our everyday life, and see how that unicorn can support you. And unicorn energy is very soft, very gentle, yet deeply healing and powerful. And it is perfect for you to work with children. So if your work involves you working with children, or you are a mother who has children, or just your own inner children, the unicorn is great energy to work with, to tend into that inner children in you and the children that is outside of you too. So use that to nurture, heal, and expand that healing journey with the unicorn. All right. So let's get into the divine mission. This is something really close to my heart that, even when I started my business in 2016, I started out as a traditional life coach working with mindset. And even then, the big thing that I was always talking about, as well as helping my clients with, are around the topic of passion and purpose. It's like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I meant to do? That energy of what is the purpose. Like, I was even involved in this life purpose project before. And that answer to that question kind of changes and evolve and expand over the decades, right? And now I'm leaning more towards like the energy of the divine mission. And literally last week, when it was around the new moon, this become very, very clear for me. That what is my divine mission? I felt like I've been going around in a big circle on a merry-go-round and finally come back right where I started. But then that's what we call coming full circle, when you fully embody and anchor inside of you, that it's no longer a theory, it's no longer a knowledge, it's no longer something in your head, but it's something that's encoded in your frequency, something that is embodied in your identity. That's who you are. And to really expand your own definition of divine mission, not what I say, not what other people say. So what I'm going to share with you is my experience with fulfilling my divine mission. It will look different for you, obviously, because you have a different mission personally, but collectively similar mission. Take what resonates and leave out the rest. Understand that this entire thing that we are doing right now is not just words, it is an activation. So let yourself be activated, let yourself be awakened, let yourself be, you know? So for the longest time, although I know in my head and I say it again and again, I keep saying your job is not your life purpose. Your work is not your life purpose. Your business is not your entire mission. But as I said, it finally landed for me, because for a long time, I was pretty obsessed with my work out of passion. I mean, I really love my work, but that obsession sometimes can become a double-edged sword, in the sense that obsession can help you to, ignite that fire and be like really passionate about it. But when it's already done, it becomes this narrow-mindedness, right? Like I lost track of the bigger vision, of the bigger perspective, of the bigger picture. We become just so tunnel and narrow vision, and then it become really, really limiting. So that is like really the aha moment, that I'm like, oh my God, like I should have known it earlier, right? I should have figured this out, But then that's life, that's being a human. Sometimes we figure it out a little bit later, and even when you think you have figured it out, you find another layer of figuring out, because that's what expansion is about. And if you have truly figured it all out, you might not be here on earth anymore. You have done your lesson. Make sense? So when I look into divine mission, and like what really comes strongly for me is like my mission is really simple, in the sense that it is to make the earth a better place. That's it. It is not so complicated that the ego mind makes it out to be. And then I kind of zoom into, okay, if it's about making the earth a better place, then what does the earth consist of? What we are even talking about here? And then it occurs to me like, okay, ocean is part of the earth. And for me, a big part of my divine mission is to really helping the ocean in terms of like cleaning up the ocean, because there are so many plastic there now, right? Reducing that wastage, learning how to teach people about river management so that they don't throw those rubbish back into the ocean. Especially you see it a lot in Indonesia. When I was in Bali, every other day when I went to a walk on the beach, I saw trashes on the beach and on the sea itself, in the water. That's why ocean cleanup is something big for me, especially having seen it firsthand and feeling really upset about it. So that's part of the mission, is like things that got to do with the ocean cleanup, coral reef preservation, because coral reef is actually really important for the habitat of the entire ecosystem of the marine life. And a lot of times, when tourism is overly done, the coral reef died and the entire ocean is disrupted, which actually I really appreciate Thailand. In I think many years back, they actually closed off an entire island because the coral reef was disrupted, and then they want to bring that back to balance. So they actually closed off the island and putting environment first, then tourism, because obviously tourism has to stop at that point. And I really love that approach. And all of these little things that, whether I've seen talking to people or seen in real life, it just kind of ignite that part of me that makes me remember that making the earth a better place includes, like, as I said, in this case, the ocean and those causes that matter to me. And beyond the ocean, then what is the earth consists of, right? Another thing is like the trees and the plants and the flowers. Like the forest, the things that are on the ground, right? And the big thing for me here is like reforestation, and also planting a tree project is something I'm really passionate about. And recently I was a part of this planting a tree project, and it was really cute and really fun one, because one fine day they suddenly sent me a notification in the app, and then they're like, oh, this is your tree. And then I click on it, and I could zoom all the way to the Google map as to where the tree was actually planted, and actually see the tree. And that tree is like this little tiny seedling, which is really cute. And they show me like the farmer who planted the tree and the species of the tree, and I can name the tree. I can even chat with the tree using AI, obviously. But it's just really cute because they make it really interactive. And this planting a tree project, and then I read more about it, right? Like about this particular tree, because I was wondering, why is this the species that they chose? And I realized, oh, this species apparently in Indonesia, it is one of the species that is coming into as rare. If you don't preserve it, it will start to extinct. That's why they wanted to replant and reforestation and bring back this tree and flower and plants back. So that's another aspect of the earth, right? The trees, the plants, the flowers. So we have the ocean, we have the trees, the plants, the flowers. And then another one is the animal. And this is, again, the animal is something dear to my heart. I'm a vegan for almost 10 years now. Actually, no, coming to 11 year this year. So how can I actually participate more in vegan project without actually having to run an entire campaign on it, you know what I mean? But all of these things just make me kind of start to rethink all of this thing about divine mission, that if I want to make earth a better place as part of my divine mission, then it consists of making the ocean a better environment, making the forest a better environment, making the animal giving the animal a better environment and things like that. And then suddenly, this is where the aha moment come in, by the way, so I realized, okay, so earth consists of ocean, trees, and animal. And then suddenly there is us, you and me, the human, right? And then I realized suddenly that we human are not that big a deal, that we make us to be. We suddenly think we are the supreme one in this earth, and that we are the one that matter and the one that is most important, but we forgot that we are part of the earth and the earth is us. And we forgot about the ocean, the trees and the animal and the plants and the flowers and all. And then suddenly I realized, if human is so-called not that big of a deal, not that big of a part of a earth in a grand scale of things, I'm not saying we are not important, but I'm just saying in the grand scale of things, we're just like a part of it. Then it makes me wonder, then isn't my work as a Lemurian priestess helping women, which essentially is helping human, then not that big a deal that the ego might make it up to be, right? Since if human is just one big part of the earth, then my work is in that sense one big part of the earth. And when I had that realization, it's like, whew, a huge weight is lifted off my shoulder. Suddenly, all the heaviness and the stress and the seriousness and the weight on my shoulder and the burden around the word divine mission and life purpose is gone. And whatever I'm worrying and stressing about in my business before is gone. All those nitty-gritty, all those doesn't matter anymore, right? So that's kind of like the aha moment for me, when I suddenly zoom out and see that actually my divine mission is way bigger than just my work or my business or my job, so to speak, right? And of course, part of making earth a better place goes beyond just what is the obvious, like what I say. There's everything that's like in between, right? Like the unseen, the energy work. Like if you today smile to a stranger and send a prayer to somebody, you are already planting a seed of love. You are already activating and healing in somebody. You are already sending good intention of love to other people, and in that sense you already are making the world a better place because it has ripple effects, domino effects, one that we cannot understand in the logic. We are living in a quantum where we go beyond the logic. You will never be able to trace with your logical mind the impact that you have, but I'm telling you, every single thing you do, say, think, including the energy you put out and emotions, is going to have an effect in one way or another. So on the grand scale of things, making Earth a better place is not as difficult or as complicated or as complex that the ego mind makes it up to be. That's what I want to say, really. That it is not this wow, grand thing or big thing. It really is as simple as I said, it can be about sending a prayer to someone or smiling to somebody. So you are always ready to make a change. You already have what it takes to make a change, and you can make a change from where you are, right where you are, with all you have right here, right now. Right? So this whole aha moment makes me realize again that the part of fulfilling my divine mission, right, is to make Earth a better place, which then include the ocean and the trees and the animal and the human and everything else in between. Then it starts to make me go into a deeper layer of wondering, how are they all interconnected? Because I know things are not separate in the logical way. Things are not in a box, things are interconnected. And then the answer came to me very, very, very straight that if I actually see how they're all interconnected, then I'm wondering, how does my work play a part in helping the ocean and the trees and the animal, and vice versa? And then I suddenly see that clearly about why, oh, okay, so if my work is, if I actually take 10% of the profits of my work and then use that money to help change the world in the sense by investing back into the causes that matter to me, like I said, whether it's preserving the ocean, planting a tree, or even like in veganism, and that will actually kind of complete the cycle where I can see my work fulfilling other part of my divine mission, supporting and funding it. And then I can also see how the fulfillment and satisfaction that come from supporting these causes will then fuel my mission back and making me more excited about my work. Because it's like a full cycle, if you know what I mean. Like what I do in my work will help my other part of my mission, and what I receive from the other part of my mission will then help me to do my work, and so on and so forth. Because this again is a big thing, right? Like a big picture of the divine mission, a big picture of making Earth a better place, and like really zooming into how we can be a part of this Earth in doing our part. So your mission will be different, will look different, will feel different, but on the grand scale of thing, if you are watching this and if you are a light worker, right, then it will definitely be something along the line of making the Earth a better place, but maybe in a different word that resonate a little bit differently for you. Making sense so far? If this resonates, like drop a yes or drop your comment below, and I want to know how this lands for you, how this feel for you, how this resonate with you, and like what does this activate for you really. So speaking of this, right, so while my work is not my work is part of my mission, but it's not the entire mission. So in that sense, my work is smaller than the ego make it out to be, but doesn't mean my work is not important. Same for you. It doesn't mean your work is not important. Your work is very, very important. Your work matters. You matter, but not in the way that the ego make it, but in the way that the spirit make it to be, that your work is really important. Especially if you already resonate with me, then chances are you are a healer, a light leader, light worker, a priestess, a starseed, whatever name you want to call it. And speaking of work and it being important, a big part of my work is to be a channel, a vessel, a conduit for the divine. Understanding that it's not your work, is the divine, that you are the channel and the conduit and the vessel for the message to flow through, for the healing to flow through, for the words to flow through, for the creation to flow through. And there is a big miracle when you can get out of the way and let go of control and kind of surrender it to the flow of the divine and let the divine guide you in your divine mission. Because again, as I said, the divine mission is actually more kind of like an everyday thingy too. It's the things that happen in the moment. Like you're not gonna plant tree every day, aren't you? But like it is in the moment thing, like in the very moment. How can I fulfill my divine mission? How can I be a channel for the divine? How can I be that manifestation of love? How can I be the best version of myself? And then I'm gonna like share a quick story that I had like yesterday. So yesterday I was supposed to, not supposed, but I was about to get on a call with a lady that I work with. And about 1 hour before the call, she texted me and said like, oh, I will have my son with me for the call because like we had a rough night and we both couldn't sleep and the son didn't go to school. So I'll see you in 1 hour time. I'm like, okay, great. I'll see you in 1 hour. And then immediately after reading the message and receiving that message, a huge divine download came through me and to me so that I can share it with other people. So when we get on the call, and honestly, I didn't know where this conversation will lead us, and I didn't even know what this divine download is supposed to look like or feel like. It's like I received an activation. I know I needed to say something, but I didn't know what this is about. But I listened to my nudges, I trusted it, I followed through, and I acted on it. So when we were on the call, right, I was telling her that, there is something that came through, like that I want to like really share and put up. And then it's up to you, whichever way you want to receive it and interpret it for your highest good. So I was telling her to look into ways to actually incorporate art healing for children. Like maybe she can consider bringing her son into mindfulness for kids, like event where they get interactive, they can draw and they can identify their emotion in the body and color the emotions in the body, or they can learn simple grounding technique like hugging yourself and then make it fun. Like she can even like make a song, like teach a different grounding tools but make a song like ABCDE kind of concept, so that like they can have fun and learn it. And the idea of it is that to understand that these are so important, and if they have these tools now, oh my God, when they're adult, it's gonna be so much easier, because you and I know it, especially if you come from a background where you are the first in the generation to actually break the trauma, so to speak. Then you never have these tools growing up, and then you have a bunch of trauma as an adult and try to uncondition everything from the past, and you wish you had these tools, right? So now how about like we give these tools to the children so they have it and they can grow up being more conscious and mindful and learn how to regulate their emotions and nervous system. So that's the idea and the basis of it. It's not so much of the tools, but these are exactly what came up. And then I was just sharing with her, and immediately I could see that her eyes light up, like, you can see it when the eyes light up, like there is a light bulb moment there, but I didn't know what it is. And then she said like, oh my God, this is something that has been like up in the air and in my field, in my horizon for a really long time, but I didn't get to do it because of my inner voice that says that, oh my God, I didn't want to go to school to teach this. I didn't want to like, like, who am I to teach this and things like that. Like all the limiting beliefs are stopping her from doing that. But this is something that's so close to her heart, and suddenly the inner fire is light up again. Like she remember a dream that she has buried or forgotten, and the fire that she has dimmed is lit up again, and the hidden gifts is revealed. That is the power and the magic when you Allow yourself to be the channel for divine to flow through you and to you, because that's exactly what I did. And in that moment, I fulfilled my divine mission. Can you see how simple it is? The reason I'm sharing to you is I want to show you the practicality of it that is beyond logic, that is really in the moment, in the day. And this is not the first time it happened to me, by the way. It happened to like most of the clients that I work with, because this is my magic. And another lady, you know, like this even more intriguing, this one, like, because like we have been working together for a long time, maybe maybe a year or so, and somewhere in between, you know, like in one fine day, again, you know, like one random day, we were there, and then halfway through the call, I was like, there is something about flower and healing that really want to be present. Maybe something about healing with flowers. Maybe you know something about it that I don't, but there's something in it that want to come up. And again, you can see her eyes sparkle, and like the light bulb moment came in, and she's like, oh my God, how do you know? I've never told anyone this. And she actually is a flower essence therapist. She already is certified. She has the entire flower essence kits. She loves it, she uses it, but she never share it with the world. For whatever reason it is, you know, she's afraid to share this gift to the world. And I didn't even know what flower essence is until that call. So clearly, you know, it is not something logical that I was doing. I was just receiving this download about healing and flower, and then bam, you know, like she got activated again. And now she is a flower essence therapist, fully proud and owning it. And I really love it. And this is the kind of activation that you get to receive and experience when you come into my field, into my energetic container, and into my work, because this is what I do best, and this is what I love. And this is part of me fulfilling my own divine mission while serving you and helping you to fulfill your divine mission too, right? With that in mind, I want to kind of bring us full circle back into everything we talk about, because I know we talk kind of a lot of things. So it's just kind of like, let's come in and like, boom, like enclose it so that it really, really encode and anchor this frequency into your beingness, okay? So we start out by inviting you to re-look into what it means for you to fulfill your divine mission. What does it mean? How does it look like for you? And to remember that your work is part of your mission, but it's not your entire mission. You are bigger than your work. That said, your work is very important. Your work matters and you matter. And I want to part us with one last message of activation, that your work has chosen you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing those soul activating work that you are doing. Your clients have chosen you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking about them. Your money have chosen you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have those desires. Your programs offering have chosen you. Otherwise, you wouldn't create them. Your priestess path have chosen you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be walking it. You are already chosen. The question is, are you choosing you? With that, I'm sending you lots of love, and I can't wait to support you and see you in one of my energetic containers. There are different ways that you can come into my field and energetic containers and work with me. I'll pop it down below in the link, and you can choose which one resonates with you, and I trust that you will follow, trust, and follow through those nudges. And I will see you again, Lemurian Priestess. It's an honor. It's Alice here, and see you.